What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ringside Rundown podcast. My name is Erik Vasquez, and joining me on the line is my podcasting partner in crime, coming straight from the Berg. She is none other than Shay Hickson. Shay, how are you, my friend? How's your week going?
A lot better than the last few weeks. If anybody's been listening to the show, I've been battling what I thought was strep throat, and turns out it was only a sinus infection. Do not ask me why. So I've been stuck on amoxicillin antibiotic meds for the last week, and I probably have a couple more days of it, but we're feeling better. I don't feel like I'm gonna get any coughing fits today. I actually feel normal again. So we're back.
Good,
we're back.
Good. Glad you're getting back to your normal self, and glad to do another episode with you of this glorious podcast. Welcome on in. If you're a first-time listener, get comfortable, get your snacks ready, because this is a podcast where Shay and I talk all things professional wrestling, whether it's WWE, AEW, TNA, ROH, New Japan. If it has anything to do with wrestling and the fans want us to talk about it, we will do so, and that's the way we do it. We let the people who listen to the show dictate what we talk about by sending us in some questions about what they think need to be answered about in the world of professional wrestling. So that's basically what we're going to do today. We have a lot of questions to go over, ranging from a lot of different topics. I'm excited because we've been doing our recaps and reviews for the past couple weeks. It's nice to get back to our normally scheduled program.
Yeah, the recaps and the predictions aren't always bad, because sometimes you like the little bit of a change, but it's not the same when you're not like answering people's questions. So I'm glad we finally can get back into it, at least for a little bit, until there's another like rush of pay-per-views to watch. But
yeah, well, I mean, we have one next week after this episode for SummerSlam, which is a two-night event, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we get to go back to normal for a week, and then we'll come back to the chaos of pay-per-views next week. So get the questions in while you can.
Yeah, exactly.
So glad we got them in, which yeah, we did get quite a few this week, which is not a surprise. So you want to get into it?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right, let's get into it. So we're going to start off with Mom's questions. And her first question or comment is, nice to see Karrion finally getting the push he deserves. Yeah. I'm glad he won that match. I would have been monumentally pissed off if he would have lost that.
Yeah.
And the crowd was glad, too. They were popping for him, thank God.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, this kind of groundswell support for Karrion Kross, not that I disapprove of it, I enjoy it very much, but it kind of came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, people are just like, yeah, we're rocking with Karrion Kross, and we want to see more Karrion Kross. And finally, it took a little bit, but now WWE is starting to listen, and they're starting, because the thing about Karrion Kross is that he is a very forward-thinking, very creative individual, and he can use that creativity in the ring a lot. And if you're familiar with his Killer Kross days, you know how creative he can be. So hopefully they can harness that and actually use that to their advantage and go beyond just this Sami Zayn thing. Because with Sami Zayn can make anybody look good,
Oh, yeah.
The real test is going in there against maybe a newcomer, somebody that you may not have the greatest of chemistry with, and seeing if you could make that work. But I am glad that this is working out so far for Karrion Kross. Hopefully it continues, because I like the fact that the fans are into it, and when the fans are into it, they add an extra element to it. So I'm glad it's working out so far.
Yeah, and I feel like I think people were just finally starting to pay attention to his online promos that he would do, and he would post on social media, which is smart on his part, because he could have easily just sat in the back and been like, well, no one's really paying attention to me, and I'm really mad about that, but I mean, I'm just not gonna do anything about it. Right. It's like, no, he put the work in to get people to, it pretty much almost forced people to notice him. And especially that interview during WrestleMania weekend where he kind of cut his own little pipe bomb of sorts. That definitely got people talking. And then after that, it was just, he was unavoidable at that point. You had no reason to ignore him. You had to pay attention to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the crowd's been, I mean, we've been getting "We Want Cross" chants, we've been getting it all over social media. Uh, hell, they every time he's even just on the screen, if he's backstage in a segment or whatever, people are giving him and Scarlett reactions. And yeah, like I said, I'm just glad he got the win because boy did he need it, because we kind of expected him to win the first match between these two and it didn't happen, which is a little annoying,
Mhm.
but I'm glad he got this one. And again, I love that the crowd was into it because we've always loved his entrance. Like, he has one of the most unique entrances in all of wrestling.
Right.
And the crowd, like you said, definitely adds an extra element into it because it's cool on its own, but it doesn't have that like mystique or that little extra spice, I guess, or pizzazz, I guess, if the crowd's dead. Because we've seen this entrance when the crowd is absolutely dead silent. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's weird. So I'm glad that people are finally starting to pay attention and knowing what we've known this entire time. I'm glad everyone else is finally jumping on board. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Hopefully for bigger and better things for Cross and Scarlett. And yeah, I'm just excited it's finally being acknowledged and appreciated because
Yeah.
it's been far too long.
Yeah, that I'm interested in seeing how far this situation with Sami Zayn is going to go, and then what is the plan after Sami Zayn to see if they can keep it going, keep the momentum going with Karrion Kross. It is all to remain to be seen, but as of right now, I'm really excited for him. Really happy that he's getting this TV time, and really, it's kind of cool to show like if fans get behind someone, we have the opportunity to have our voices be heard. Like it truly can happen. It's not some hyperbole. It's not some feel good buzzword sort of deal. If we actually want to see something happen and there's more of us than them, we can make our voices heard and something actually can happen that we want to see. So that's pretty cool.
Exactly. It's sometimes the internet wrestling community can use their voices for good.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's great. All right, so so Mom didn't end up seeing Roman's return,
Oh.
except she did see your video of it, your reaction to it, which it made me laugh. It just made me laugh because I'm just sitting there because I already knew he was back, and I'm just sitting there going, "You have no idea. You just have no idea." And it killed you because you would have said the exact same thing I would have, where it was like, "I was just kidding. I didn't actually mean it. I was joking."
Yeah, that's everybody's favorite part because the video kind of blew up on TikTok, got like 85,000 views or something like that. Yeah, it blew up on TikTok and everybody's like, I can't differentiate like if they're being serious or they're just joking around, but everybody's like, "Ha, you got told you were wrong, you stupid fucking idiot." Like it's all of the comments, there's like hundreds of comments that are all like, "You're a fucking idiot, he is back." And I'm just like, guys, it's fun, let's have fun.
Like, okay, cool. It's like, you
Yeah.
can call me that all you want, just give me your views.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
So
I don't care.
hey, I'll take the 85,000, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, this idiot enjoys the 85,000 views, but yeah, it was just funny.
Yeah.
I would have done the exact same thing. I would have had the same reaction. It was priceless. But
That was for everybody that's wondering, because there was a few comments that were like, "Oh, maybe it's like pre-recorded." That was my genuine reaction. I had no idea. You couldn't even. If you would have said, "Yeah, maybe Roman comes back tonight," I would have been like, "For what?" Like,
yeah, exactly.
it's not, we still got a couple weeks away from SummerSlam. Maybe he comes back at SummerSlam.
Again.
Yeah, exactly. Again, but it caught me off guard. It caught me off guard. That place went crazy because if you listen to the video, the crowd noise is just, I was like, man, I should have turned down the video or something because the crowd noise is just loud.
Yeah, they were loud the whole night too.
They really were. And it was just, he has that I guess they finally have tapped into, I always think about the dark years of Roman Reigns when he was going out on his own after the Shield and having to sit through the big dog years and Roman Reigns being forcibly down our throats knowing that he was going to be the guy. But the way they made it happen was so the opposite of organic with Roman Reigns. Now the Roman Reigns that we're getting, everything is organic, and it's been that way for years now. But we finally got that natural sense of, okay, this guy is cool. This guy is the top of the top of the heap. He should be the main event picture, you know, all around. And, you know, it's just, yeah, that was just, it's crazy how the fans have taken to him too.
Yeah, it's funny how time changes things. It's because I was in the trenches during those years, so I know how terrible it was having to convince people that no, it actually he really is good, guys. He's not terrible, but yeah, it was a cool moment. Like I said, that crowd was nuts all night.
Yeah.
That's what a wrestling crowd should be in the States, not what we usually get, where it's just okay, well, we're gonna kind of react a little bit, but you know, whatever. It's like that was not on the level of the European crowds, but that's definitely a step up from what the usual United States crowds usually are. So you know what, good for them. Good for for them. They get big props.
For sure.
But the reason Mom brought up Roman Reigns' return was, do we think it was because of Seth's injury that he came back when he did?
That's my guess. You know, obviously, yeah, we don't work there, we don't have the inside scoop, but that's kind of my guess because again, like nobody, I don't think there was a mention, an inkling of, you know, Roman Reigns is gonna come back, you know, and it's just like they were running with the Seth thing and everything was going good, and it just kind of like screams like, okay, they brought him back a little early. Maybe they did want to do the thing where he shows up at SummerSlam, you know,
maybe
to make SummerSlam a big deal. But you know, hey, it sucks that Seth is dealing with this injury, but if it means that the tribal chief is back and we can get some cool tribal chief stuff going, I'm not really complaining too much. It's like, that's the thing about WWE. It's no one person is bigger than the WWE. And when something like this happens, you really see that the machine just keeps going, that they're all just cogs in the wheel, you know, and when one cog breaks, they just replace it with a new cog, you know, and it's just, that's the way the machine operates. Again, I hope for Seth's sakes, it's not something too serious that maybe he just needs maybe a month or two off to heal up or something like that. But yeah, I definitely do think that because of what happened to Seth Rollins, they kind of asked the tribal chief to come back a little sooner than later.
Yeah, they're like, can you like shorten your vacation plans by like a couple weeks just because we need you. Yeah, that would have been kind of funny if he came back again at SummerSlam, because that would have just like, because he came back last time at SummerSlam, so I thought it would have been a little, I don't know, it just would have been funny, and I'm sure people would have made jokes about it or something. But yeah, it's a double-edged sword of, yeah, it sucks that we're not going to get Rollins for a while because he was hot. He was probably one of the hottest things going for WWE before he got hurt. But yeah, he's hurt, but you get Roman back, so it's kind of like at what cost? But you still get something, so you can't really complain too much.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Is like you get it's like a consolation prize, you know. You know, Seth is hurt, but hey, we asked Roman to come back a little early, and he said, "Okay, cool." And now they're setting up for eventually what looks like to be a tag match. Roman and Jey Uso teaming up to take on, as I like to call them, Braun. I like to call him Braun.
Oh, I mean, I want them to make a shirt with that on it because people would buy it too, but it'll catch on. Maybe it'll go viral on TikTok or something too. That'll be the next thing. But.
Maybe.
But yeah, we can't complain too much. All right, so obviously we're recording this on Tuesday, so we're going to kind of miss a little bit of what this question's talking about. Mom was saying how a Undertaker and Trick Williams interaction is going to be very interesting.
Yes, Trick Williams he's been doing some great work right now as TNA champion. He's kind of tapped into the heel Trick Williams. Like, I see Trick Williams sort of being multifaceted. Like, he could be a great good guy, but he can also be a great bad guy too. Like, he could be that guy that you literally like, I just want to see this guy get his ass kicked, you know? So The stuff with the Undertaker is really good. I mean, anytime they ask you to do something with the Undertaker, obviously that means you're on a good path. You know, you're doing the right thing so far, because they're asking you to do something, especially on NXT. And it's kind of crazy to see the Undertaker, not necessarily a fixture on NXT, but he's been featured a couple times. You know, he's been featured a couple times. So to see him kind of mix it up with the NXT talent and be down there, it's really cool. And Trick was great last night on Monday Night Raw when they asked him about the Undertaker, and he took those jabs at the Undertaker about his knees, and he's gonna knock him out so his eyes stay permanently rolling back in his head. You know, that's just great stuff. Or maybe I don't know if it's gonna lead to a match, because I know that's what everybody's probably gonna ask. But I just like the interaction. I think Trick is doing an excellent job just being naturally charismatic and being himself. So that's good for him.
Yeah, I definitely can't complain. He's been doing a lot of good work lately. I feel like maybe let's not get ahead of ourselves and say that, oh, Undertaker's got one more match in him, because we don't really need to see it. Let's be honest.
No,
It's
definitely.
just,
It's the same thing as like a Goldberg situation. We don't really
yeah.
need it, you know?
Yeah, we're good, but Undertaker can possibly use this to elevate one of his like LFG people, where it's just like, well, you know what? I'm not getting in the ring with you because this isn't worth my time, but I can have one of my guys beat your ass because you deserve it. Something like that. Just like a double seal of approval in a way where you're in, as Trick Williams, you're in a segment with The Undertaker of all people. So if that's not a stamp of approval, I don't know what is at this point.
Yeah.
But to then also potentially have somebody from your LFG team come in and be his like opponent, that's a big stamp of approval in your own right. So I could see that happening, or I don't know, maybe just gets maybe a little physical, like a pull apart possibly, but who knows? It'll be very interesting to actually go back and see what happened. I'm sure it's honestly probably going to be the main event segment tonight. I wouldn't be surprised. So maybe by the end of this show, we'll get to see it live, or we'll just catch the tail end of it. But I'm sure Twitter's going to be blowing up about it for sure.
I'm sure. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so this one, this is Mom's last like comment, and it made me laugh. It's not going to surprise you in the least. So she apparently heard that Damien is off the market now because supposedly he's dating Lola Vice, something.
Yeah, Damien
like,
and Lola getting a little cozy.
Yeah, see, and everyone thought it was him and Caden Carter, and clearly that was not the.
I haven't seen any new TikToks or anything new like that with Caden Carter. So hey, man, hey.
Got replaced. So
my man moves. That man moves quick.
Which are we really surprised? I am not. But
Hey.
so mom said that that will, even if he is off the market, it will make no difference if they cross paths. I fully believe.
I believe it. That's why I always say anytime your mom is anywhere close, and I mean even an hour's out or so, I feel like security needs to be worn. Like, you know, I feel like they have your mom's picture at like WWE live events, and it just says, yeah, like, watch out for this lady, you know?
Yeah, that's never stopped her before, so you know what, why would it stop her now? But you know what, whatever makes him happy and keeps her out of jail, that's
yeah, let's keep her out of jail. You know, hey, if he's happy, I'm happy, you know, but let's more focused on your mom staying out of jail.
Yeah, because I don't think I have enough bail money for that one. Even if we put our money together, I don't think it would be enough. So,
I definitely not. And not only that, but Lola Vice is an MMA fighter.
She could kick our ass.
Yeah, I know your mom can throw hands, but I still wouldn't. I don't trust, you know, Lola Vice in that situation. So I think we need to stay far away.
Yeah, it's probably not what she wants to hear, but it's for her own good. Trust us, please. Like, we know what we're doing sometimes. All right, so now that that's out of the way, that is actually, I think that's all of Mom's questions and comments. So thank you, Mom, as always.
Thank you, Mom.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our last set from Mike, and my phone would flip the screen. Okay, so were we surprised at the response that Charlotte got at Evolution and the subsequent SmackDowns afterwards? Um, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think it also kind of goes what we talk about all the time of like the live crowd doesn't always necessarily agree with the online community, so
yeah.
yeah, but it's almost like unfortunately it kind of felt like it was kind of a general agreement that no one was really a fan of Charlotte,
Mm,
but honestly, though, good for her because I can only imagine having to hear that and see that online every single day. It would get very draining. And then that whole thing with Tiffany probably didn't help either. From what
right.
that article she wrote, it didn't help. And I don't blame her. I would have felt the same way. So, good for her to get a good reaction. And for the last few, I think Alexa being there kind of helps a little bit too.
Mm,
But yeah, I'm glad that she did get a positive reaction at Evolution, especially during Evolution, because that's such a big deal for all the women. So, good for her. I'm glad it made her feel good because it should. And yeah, maybe people are finally turning the corner, but maybe it also helps because she's not necessarily in the title picture right now.
right,
So
right.
that might help, but I feel like hopefully this isn't just like a flip-floppy kind of reaction where yeah, we'll cheer you until you say you're in the title picture, and then it's like, nope, we got to go back to hating you now because we'll see. Here we go. We knew it was just a matter of time, even though I don't really see her getting into the title picture anytime soon because obviously she's doing all that stuff with Alexa. So I hope it lasts, but I never really trust the wrestling fans sometimes. But
Yeah.
oh, for now, good for her though, because I'd say she deserves it.
For sure, for sure. It was definitely one of those things that it was like it was noticeable when it
Yeah,
happened when she was started getting cheered. Like she's getting cheered
yeah,
more than usual, more than usual.
yeah.
I don't know what it is. I really couldn't tell you what turned the switch on people, but I do agree with what you said. It's the sort of thing where the online audience doesn't match up with the live attendance audience.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where they're on two opposite ends of the spectrum. However, I am here for it. Any sort of positivity, any sort of positive reaction, anything positive happening in wrestling, because wrestling can be so toxic, I'm all for it. So if it brightens Charlotte's day that she can come to work and not have the fans constantly shit on her, it feels like it is giving her some extra motivation, because I do see like a little hitch in her step when she's in the ring. She's a little bit more crisp, a little bit
Yeah.
more with intent. She doesn't pull up lame on anything. So I feel like it's actually motivating for her, which is a
I
great thing.
I would think so because again, could you imagine going into your job every single day, hearing how terrible you are and you don't deserve to be there and you're only there because of your dad, and it's just like it would get taxing after a while, and then you kind of makes sense why she would phone it in sometimes because she's like, well, these people don't appreciate my work, so why the fuck should I put in the extra effort because they're just gonna shit on me anyway.
Right.
So it's funny what a crowd reaction will do, guys. It's just sometimes they're not the problem, you are, but no, good for her though. I'm glad that it's definitely helping her because you said there is definitely a noticeable difference in her in-ring work lately. So you know
Yeah.
what? Good. She deserves it.
Yeah, and the Alexa Bliss stuff is working great. I like it. It's kind of like a sibling rivalry sort of vibe to it, you know?
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I'm actually enjoying it because it's like they can nag at each other, but there you can tell there's a deep respect there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is cool to see.
Yeah. I completely agree. I'm hoping it'll go further. Maybe we'll see some women's tag title action. Who knows?
They
But
got the match at SummerSlam for the tag title, so you never know.
so we'll see if they pull the trigger on it. They might, because hey, why the hell not? I mean, there's never really, to be fair, there's never a consistent way they book that tag division anyway. So you know what? Go for it. Why the hell not? But either way, I'm glad she's finally getting some positive reactions for once, because it would be very draining having to hear all that shit constantly. All right. So speaking of, well, unfortunately, speaking of shit, do we think Adam Cole's concussion was from that power bomb on the apron from Kyle Fletcher. If it wasn't, I'd be shocked. They said it happened like the week before though, which I'm like, that didn't seem right to me because I feel like, I mean, the problem is with concussions, and I am by no means an expert on concussions. I don't have a degree or anything. I've had one before. It's not fun. I can only speak from my personal experience. You might think it might be from one specific incident, and it probably was, but the symptoms and stuff might not have been showing up until like way later because concussions are just a very inconsistent kind of injury. There's no like, well, you're going to feel this at this amount of time and you're only going to feel it for so many weeks, so many months, whatever, and then it goes away. Like it is so like non-linear. It's frustrating if you have one because you may think you're good, but then you like look at a light the wrong way or you hear like the wrong type of like sound or something's too loud and it just like brings up all the symptoms all over again. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was like the main cause of it and nothing ever really like came of it until a couple weeks later, right before obviously All In. But yeah, like I would have been shocked if he did not get at least some sort of concussion because just watching that back, it's like, oh my God, it was bad. Like that was bad.
Yeah, it was definitely bad. Like you said, I can't, only Adam Cole could tell you, yeah, that's kind of when it happened. That's kind of when it started, but it's definitely on the nose what you said. The symptoms of a concussion are the trickiest part because you never really know when you're free and clear from your concussion symptoms. Like you said, looking at a light wrong, turning your head too quickly might exasperate it. So you never know. And then the fact that this is, I think, his third concussion in 3 years, it definitely doesn't help. It definitely doesn't help. But the thing is, like, he doesn't wrestle a style that would make you think he's taking all these heavy, stiff blows to the head.
No.
So it kind of
it's almost always like freak accidents when it happens.
Right.
Which is a shame. He just has shit luck, but yeah, it's like it's not like he's fighting in these knockout drag out brawls every time he wrestles because that's just not his style. And even if he's wrestling somebody like that, it's not gonna always translate to a knockdown drag out brawl. It's just gonna be like a more maybe physical match, but yeah, it's just these freak accidents every time. And yeah, when you have several in a very short period of time, it's not good. And those inconsistent symptoms are exacerbated even more. And yeah, like you said, turning your head the wrong way, looking at a light too much. For me, what brought my headaches and stuff on was literally sitting in the dugout because I was playing softball at the time and I got the concussion. All I literally was doing was sitting on the bench, throwing a softball in the air, and within like 2 or 3 throws, my head was hurting already just from focusing on a softball, tossing it right in front of my face. So it's the simplest things that can make these symptoms worse or bring them back. Like you could have no symptoms for weeks and you're like, oh, great, I'm in the clear, everything's fine. And then one simple thing's just going to completely just ruin everything. And I wouldn't be surprised. Again, we're not going to speak for him because we don't know. And only he's going to tell you for sure. That probably helped, or that probably didn't help him in that situation where you had the concussion most likely during that match and the symptoms. He was probably so used to the symptoms that it didn't feel anything out of the ordinary. And then just woke up that morning of All In and, something happened and brought those symptoms back, and yeah, it was no good.
Yeah. I just really hope that it's not something that's going to have a permanent effect on his career. I really hope that eventually he can get back to it, but I do wish that maybe he takes a lot of time off. I would take a lot of time off and make sure you're in the free and clear because as we know with like the NFL and obviously other wrestlers and things like that, concussions are no joke. They have lasting effects that that can do some serious damage to your psyche. And we definitely don't want to see Adam Cole go down a dark road, because that can definitely happen with concussion. It's just it's basically like holes in your brain, you know, and,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's a scary thing to talk about for anybody. So I really hope that he is decided. I don't want him to not wrestle. Selfishly, as a fan, I definitely want to see him wrestle, but I definitely want him to get right and take as long as he needs to get right as it needs be, because it's a very tricky situation.
Yeah, it's important that you touched on the symptoms of a concussion are not just headaches and dizziness and nausea and whatever. It's irritability, it's mood swings, it's depression, it's anxiety, or it like makes all those symptoms worse if you already have them. Like if you're someone who deals with anxiety or depression, you get a concussion, that's not good, because that's literally going to take every symptom you already have and like multiply it by 1,000.
Right.
It's just, it messes with your head. It's a head injury, and those are so like dangerous, because that could be, you could be one concussion away from completely spiraling and things ending badly. So it's just, that's why people need to take it more seriously, because it's not just I got knocked in the head, oh, and I'm fine now, I shook the cobwebs off, I can go back in. It's like, no, you need to like take care of your brain, because you only have one, and you can only have one for the rest of your life. So if he has to take time away for a while, it's gonna suck, obviously, because we love him, but he has to put his health first before he can put anything else ahead of that. You have to prioritize yourself first.
Yeah, I agree for sure, 100%.
All right, so was Io and Rhea the best women's match we had seen? If not, what's our favorite?
I still think Sasha Bailey Brooklyn is number one in my book, but this was a damn close number two.
Yeah, that one was. They just have that special kind of chemistry that you can't have with just anybody. It's kind of that what's that thing that Mercedes like the wrestling soulmates?
Right.
I think that's what you call it, because that's what you should stat was her wrestling soulmate. I think Io and Rhea are each other's wrestling soulmates, and it's
not only Io is just so damn good. Like Rhea's great. Rhea's great, but now we're seeing the greatness of Io Sky, because she has that match with Rhea and it's a barn burner, and then she goes on Monday and then she has a barn burner match with Stephanie Vickera, and it's just like, this lady can have great matches with anyone. She really might be the best in the world, male or female. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, she is just that damn good. We always say you can wrestle somebody and have a 5-star match with them with their eyes closed. She could absolutely do that. She's just that damn good. Yeah, that match is definitely up there for me. Personally, one of my favorite matches is still Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler from Evolution, the original pay-per-view.
Nice.
And then, funny enough, from the same pay-per-view, Becky and Charlotte in the last woman standing match. So that was another favorite of mine. But yeah, that Rhea and Io match, it's like, goddamn. It's just those two are on another level. It's just, what can you say? They're just that fucking good, and it's amazing. And
it really is.
Again,
it almost makes you angry, especially like last night on Raw, the match ending in a disqualification. Like, you get why it happened and you understand it, but you're just like, damn it, I really wanted to see a definitive, winner out of that. But man, they're just two world-class athletes, and they really show off why not only wrestling but women's wrestling is great.
Yeah, and who would have thought women's wrestling is fantastic? Go fucking figure. Water's wet, sky's blue. But yeah, that was such a great match. I definitely want to go back and watch that one again. They're just so good. They're just, what can you say? Like, so they're just good. And again, just you can say it 5,000 times and it's going to be the same every time. They're just two of the best in the world right now.
For sure.
Okay, so we're going to switch over to AEW real quick. Does Toni Storm rely too heavily on the sexual innuendos in her promos?
I mean, even if she does, they're hilarious.
Yeah, it's not gotten to the point with me where I'm just like, oh God, here's another one. It's just like the way she delivers it every time. She could probably say the same thing in every promo for 5 weeks straight, and it would still be funny to me because she
Yeah.
just has that delivery where, and it's that like snappy, like you don't really see it coming kind of delivery. Like, she's crazy. She's going to say some shit. And yet, she'll say these things that catch you off guard every time where you're like, she really just said that. I cannot believe she just said that, but she really fucking said that. Um, so yeah, I don't think it's been like overly reliant on it. I feel like even if they said, "Hey, tone it back a little bit," she could still have great promos. I don't think that's really going to like handcuff her in any way. She's just talking about Io being on another level. Tony's also on another level. Like no one can touch her on that mic. It's just it's insane what she can do, and just to be so creative to just come up with any of the things that come out of her mouth is just it just takes a special kind of creative genius to do that. So
Yeah, and
props to her.
yeah, you got to be brave when you cut promos like Tony Storm. You gotta.
Yeah.
It sounds stupid, but you got to kind of believe the crazy shit that comes out of your mouth. You got to believe like, oh yeah, this is really gonna get him.
Yeah, you have to say it with your chest because if
Yeah.
you don't, if the crowd like can tell you're not into it, they're gonna tell you from a mile away that we can see through your bullshit. So
Right, and it's not like an MJF situation where it's just two carbon copy of the same thing over and over and over again. She keeps it interesting,
yes,
she keeps it interesting. So that's why I think nobody really bats an eye like, oh, she's using too much of the craziness. It's just who she is now. Like she's not
yeah.
mentally, she's not all there. She's stuck in a time warp of 1920s, and she thinks she's a 1920s movie star. Like what are we doing? How much more crazy? Like you want us to be normal with that? Like it just doesn't work. So I'm enjoying what she's doing. I think I like the fact that she still is the champion, and they're heading towards a situation with Athena, which I think is going to be great. Another great wrestling match is what's going to be on the horizon. So I think we're good with Tony.
Yeah, I definitely can't complain. And it's so impressive to me because just the longevity too. The fact that even last year, when we're like, okay, she's in this whole stuff with Mariah, when it ends, what is she gonna do next? Is she gonna like just pretend like nothing ever happened? Is she just gonna go back to regular like Tony Storm? But the fact that she's still doing this and even at a higher, I think even a higher level now than she was even back then, which is saying something. It's just impressive.
Yeah.
Where it's not gotten old. She finds ways to freshen it up and make it new every week and can still deliver in the ring. Because yeah, you can be a great talker and stuff all you want, but if you can't deliver in the ring too, you're kind of a one-trick pony. But she can do both. She can have a great match and a great promo at the same time, and yeah, it's insane. It's kind of, I don't want to even say that this is a comparison, but it's almost like this is like AEW's kind of version of the whole bloodline thing or like the tribal chief thing, where it's like, damn, we're still going with this and it hasn't gotten old, and how is this still going on at this high of a level? Like, oh, this surely has to be the end of it. Oh, nope, it's not. And it's even better than it was originally. So it's just props to Tony because I don't know if I could do it. She has more endurance than I do, but you know what? Good for her.
Yeah, she definitely has been killing it. She deserves it too after everything she's been through in her career. To finally find something that just clicks and turns you into a superstar, it must be a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, it's that vindication of I did this my way, and I'm getting I'm getting like praised to high heaven for it, and I'm one of the like top wrestlers in the world now for it. So yeah, and she deserves all the pats on the back.
Sure.
Should be a pretty simple question. On a scale of Chris Jericho to John Cena, how excited are we for Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff's new promotion, Real American Freestyle Wrestling?
I don't give a shit.
That is absolute negative Chris Jericho. I could give a
I'd
fuck less.
rather watch a Chris Jericho match than watch that.
Yeah.
You know,
All you had to do was tell me Hulk Hogan and I'm already gone. Like, I
yeah.
don't give a fuck
I
about
don't
that
care.
promotion.
I don't care. Neither do the people, because apparently last time I checked, like a couple months ago, the ticket sales were in the dumpster. Like
Yeah.
nobody gives a shit whatever they're trying to accomplish. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Time to let go of the dream, my friend. You know, time to ride
Yeah.
off into the sunset. Your time is over. I don't even know what real American freestyle wrestling is supposed to look like. You know, I don't even think I don't even think Hulk Hogan knows what that is supposed to look like, because he has no idea. Like, it's not like Hulk Hogan comes from an amateur background where he,
No.
you know, was an amateur wrestler in college or anything like that, and he was neither of those. So, like,
Nope.
what does he know? Like, he knows as much as I know. So, like, yeah. I'm not into it. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. It's probably gonna flop, so we won't hear about it for much too long.
Well, what's the funny thing about this whole thing is that if this is any indication, at least from my like stratosphere, as to how well known this whole thing is, I didn't even know this existed until Mike asked about it. I didn't even know this was a thing. Um, kind of shame on Bischoff for falling for that bullshit. He was just like, really, dude, are you that fucking desperate? Like, please. Um, so yeah, no, that is a negative Chris Jericho on the scale for me. I could give a fuck less. I won't actively pray for their downfall because karma's a real thing, but yeah, I just hope it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I won't even. I don't. Yeah,
there's no
it's
way you
gonna.
could.
It's gonna be a thing that happens, and that's it.
Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it. It's gonna be a thing that happens, and they're gonna be in way over their heads, and it's not gonna
Mhm.
go over well, and they're just gonna dissolve the whatever it is at the end of it.
And I'm not going to see it happen. So we're going to be better off for that one, I think. But
Yeah.
thank you, Mike, for informing me of that. And now I will completely forget that that even existed. So that was its 3 seconds of fame, I guess. But all right, so let's see if we can get to something a little better. Okay, yeah. So do we agree with JC Jane and Trick Williams going over at Slammiversary? Of course, some of the IWC didn't agree with the decision. Some see it as WWE helping secure a TV deal for TNA. Others see them big brothering TNA. Yeah, from what at least my section of wrestling Twitter looked like, they were not too pleased that Mike Santana didn't end up winning because he
Right.
had a very big following at that show. I will say I was definitely surprised that JC Jane won. That was a little shocking to me, but
Mhm.
you know what? Good for her. She's been there long enough and has earned the success through all the hard work. So you know what? Good for her. But I was definitely surprised by that. Um, a little surprised that Trick retained, but also not really
Mm.
because I don't know. I feel like it's almost kind of. I feel like you wouldn't really be surprised if it was a little bit of both, where WWE's trying to get TNA the TV deal, but also knows it can kind of big brother them a little bit
Right.
to get them to do whatever because they have no leg to stand on. So it's probably a mix of both. They just don't want to admit that they're kind of big brothering TNA,
Right.
but what choice does TNA have? Again, they don't really have a lot of financial legs to stand on, so
But
they kind of just have to be at their mercy.
right, and not only that, but like the one thing I looked at when I was looking at clips of Slammiversary, I'm like, that arena is packed. Like,
Oh yeah, it was like
it
almost
looks,
8,000
yeah,
people.
it looks like an episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix.
Yeah.
That's how packed it was. And I remember the dark days of like TNA, Impact Wrestling on Spike, where they were like, you know, where nothing made sense in that company, and you're like, this company's not gonna make it another 5 years. Like,
Yeah.
we were at that point many times in TNA, and I was thinking about that earlier, like, you know, surviving the Dixie Carter years and Aces and Eights and Hogan and Bischoff coming in, surviving all of that to get where they're at right now. I don't think anybody in TNA is complaining that
Yeah.
WWE kind of gave him that little bit of a push, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe they're big brothering them, but I mean, again, the proof is in the amount of money that they're making now than what they were making before. So
Mhm.
unless you can prove something different, then I think, I mean, the wise decision is always in where the money's at. If they're making the money,
Yeah.
then it's really hard to kind of offer the contrary, you know?
Yeah, it's money will always talk,
Yeah.
and if TNA sees a good financial opportunity with WWE, they'll be like, "Tell us whatever to do and we'll do it. You want us to jump through that hoop? Absolutely. How many times?" Like they could be in the Dixie Carter era again. So you know what? They'll
Exactly. I think honestly that's what they're looking at, is like where we were before and where we are now. We don't want to mess that up. So whatever the formula is working, because I mean Joe Hendry's still hot. Mike
yeah.
Santana's hot. Mustafa Ali is hot. You know, Cedric Alexander just came in there. You know, like it's a hot product. They have a lot of good stuff going on. And being that they lost out on people like Ethan Page, Josh Alexander, you know, people going to AEW, people going to WWE. So to be able to still maintain a level of logical programming that we don't, because we're used to seeing, oh, TNA's TNAing again. There they go, doing that crazy shit TNA is always doing. No, it's actual logical booking and logical wrestling. So I'm saying we could look at it and say, yeah, you know, maybe WWE is kind of overtaking things a little bit, but it's proven to be a positive benefit for TNA. So I don't think they're going to change anything.
Yeah, if you got positive, competent leadership steering your ship, I don't think you're gonna really bite the hand that feeds you. So you know
No,
what? They're gonna take what they're getting. Alrighty. So are we looking forward to WWE Unreal?
I am. I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, and we might be in the minority, but I am, because the thing is, my dream has always been, since I was a young kid, I always wanted to work in like the creative aspect of WWE and putting matches together and putting
Yeah.
stories together and doing that sort of stuff. I've always been fascinated as to how that works. So that's why I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to the show. I think it's going to be a good show. I know what's funny to me is all the people that, like, all the wrestling pundits and all the old wrestlers that are like, oh, this is going to ruin everything. Like, how can they pull the curtain back so far? I don't think it's going to make a difference.
No, and what I find kind of funny is those same people that are like, "Well, I think this is pulling the curtain too far back, and this is how much do we have to pull the curtain back?" It's like, you guys kind of asked for this already because WWE did a behind the curtain for WrestleMania 40 and the build up to all of that. And you guys welcomed that documentary with open arms and
Right.
were super positive about it. So you can't
Hmm.
really be surprised. The WWE looked at that and went, "Oh, so people do like the behind the curtain stuff. Well, we'll just keep going with that."
Right.
It's like you guys can't keep acting shocked when you say you like this shit, and when they keep doing it, you're like, "Well, wait a minute, I didn't actually want it." It's like, well, you're getting it because you guys won't shut up about it on Twitter. So good job shooting yourselves in the foot, I guess. But it's just like I'm not complaining. I think it'll be very interesting to see the kind of ins and outs because again, that whole like behind the curtain of WrestleMania 40 really fascinated me. Even just kind of noticing the little tidbits here and there, or even so far as the like scene and like the one scene, I don't know if you'll remember that like war room where Triple H was talking about how like, oh, they had been setting up the card since like October, and you kind of see like these are the people who need time off the next day or the next week or so, and they have like a line of like essentially those PTO people, and I'm like, I thought that was kind of fascinating. So yeah, I'm not really going to complain that you kind of get to see the ins and outs. And guess what? If you think it's going to pull the curtain too far back, there's a very simple thing you can do. Don't watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't watch it. Because, I mean, if you don't watch it, then that means Raw and SmackDown and everything else doesn't change for you. I mean, it really
Yeah,
doesn't change either way if you watch it too, because, I mean, they're just letting you know this is how the show works. That's it.
yeah,
That's it.
literally. Like that again, and it's just like even if you don't watch it, inevitably shit's gonna get spoiled for you online anyway. So I
Yeah,
mean, you're
you're
not.
gonna come across a clip and you're gonna be interested. Just watch
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, it's like, just get over it. Just
Yeah,
get over it. Like,
uh,
it's people make my head hurt,
I
but
tell you.
it's people. People, am I right? Either way, we're excited for it, so we'll see how it goes.
I am.
Uh, do we think Chris Jericho shows up at the Royal Rumble?
Oh God. Why does he want to keep doing this to me?
He's gonna torture us. What can we
why
say?
why why does he want this to happen? What's his deal with Chris Jericho
Um,
torturing my life?
yeah, I know. I'm right there with you. Maybe not afflicted as much, but afflicted nonetheless. I feel like Jericho's not gonna get away from the good gig he has now. I don't really see why he would want to go back to WWE. Because he pretty much gets treated like a second producer in AEW. So I mean, why would you want to go back to the competition? Because
Yeah.
Tony's not gonna like that. And if you want to get chained into catering like some other people are, then you do you, I guess. But I don't know. I don't really think he will. Because what would be the point? What does he have to go back to prove?
Yeah, my distaste for Chris Jericho aside, why would you want to leave a place where you can basically get away with murder?
Yeah,
And all of your ideas are great ideas, and it will implement any ideas you have in the future. You don't even have to worry about them getting denied. We're just gonna go for it. Might as well just stick to what's good for you. Like if
yeah,
that's the career path that you've been given, where you've been given free reign to do whatever you want in a company like AEW, I might as well go for it. Might as
yeah,
well go for it. I just don't think. I feel like a lot of what WWE is now is for the performers to prove themselves.
yeah,
And I don't think Jericho has anything to prove. He's a bona fide Hall of Famer. He's had an amazing career, one of the greats for sure, no doubt. But there's nothing left for him to prove, not in wrestling, period. Even in AEW, having him in
yeah.
AEW is just for funsies at this point. You
Yeah,
know?
there's no redemption or anything. He's done everything there is to do. I mean, the only reason he's still there is just for the hell of it at that point, just for the love of the game,
Yeah,
really. But
for sure. So hey, if you're coasting like that, this is one of those situations where I say coast away.
yeah, and you really do mean coast away. Like, go away and stay away. But yeah, I don't really see him coming back unless they shovel a ton of money at him. But even then, I don't think he's gonna bite the hand that feeds him right now. So I highly doubt we'll be seeing him. But then again, stranger things have happened. Okay, so I knew we were going to talk about this for sure because this was a hot topic for a little bit. Mike says, "Is there more of an ingrate in wrestling than Bill Goldberg? WWE didn't have to give him squat, and he shit all over his last match in WWE. Yeah, he pretty much had the red carpet laid out for him, and still, I mean, I can at least understand that whole like last however many minutes of Saturday night's main event was just weird from a production standpoint. Like,
Right.
why do you go to a commercial with 3 minutes left in this like entire program, and then you come back and then he cuts a 30-second promo and then that's it? Oh, the show's over. So I can at least understand that. Maybe it just didn't go how he was told it was going to go, which is like whatever. But as a wrestler, you should also know that that's just wrestling. Sometimes shit's gonna change on a dime. So yeah, it's a little ungrateful because it's not like, oh, well, we promised you were going to win the title, and then at the last second, we're like, you know what? Actually, never mind. Like, you were going to lose. You knew that was going to be your last match. Enjoy it. Like, just get over it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. No one's going to remember this literally in 3 weeks anyway, so big fucking whoop. Like, production got changed. Like, that's not a surprise. Thank NBC for that one. Don't get mad at WWE for it, but I don't know. It's just that's a whole bite in the hand to feed you kind of thing. But
Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, what more could you want? You already have the Hall of Fame career. I don't even know why you needed that one last match, to be honest with you. And they gave
yeah,
you way more time than what you usually get to actually do something productive,
yeah,
and it went off without a hitch. So be happy.
yeah.
Be
Just be
happy.
grateful.
Hey man, they didn't give you the rah rah go away where like you thought you would deserve, but like That's the problem nowadays. People think they deserve more than they actually do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's sometimes it's just nice to get what you're given and that's it. I mean, there's
Yeah.
obviously there's exceptions to that, but it's just like it it's not like this was gonna be, oh well, this is almost the end and no, it's the end. It's over, you're done. You knew it was gonna be the end. It's not like you got bamboozled that, oh hey, this actually is your last match, like surprise. It's like you knew it was coming,
Right.
so you can't really complain too much, but because I guarantee we got to pick who he was going against too. So it's like you handpick your opponent. You get to essentially handpick essentially where you had this match in your hometown with your friends and family there. So it's like shut the fuck up and just be happy that you got the match because to be fair, you still shouldn't have had it in the first place. So
Yeah.
be grateful for it.
They really, if you think about it, they had no plans for a Goldberg final match.
Oh,
They just heard that he wanted to do this, and they were like, "Oh fuck it, he's not gonna quit bothering us unless we do it." So
yeah,
that's why they did it, you know. So it's just you know, people.
people. It's just yeah, no. And the way Mike worded this made me laugh. Speaking of Oldberg,
Yeah,
uh, do we think he goes to AEW to do a send off like Sting? I fucking hope not. And if he does, it's just like, I'm glad you threw your morals and your, like, I don't know,
yeah. I
whatever out the
I
window.
I see it happening.
Your pride. Your pride.
I
Yeah.
honestly see it happening simply because he didn't get the
Yeah.
send off that he wanted from WWE. So he
However, there's one little caveat to that.
was that.
Tony has to be fully on board with that. And if he was never really a fan of Goldberg growing up, he's not going to do it
But
because
if it sticks it to WWE, you don't think he will?
is it really sticking it to? I mean, in their mind, it might be sticking it to
In their
WWE,
mind,
but most
anything they've done is sticking it to WWE, and it's not been productive in any way in anybody else's normal thinking brain. But in AEW brain, this is like, we're gonna give him this crazy send off, you know, like it's gonna be a 2 hour dynamite of just Goldberg love.
oh god, and it's just like, and that's like what you said. They feel like everything they do is like a stick it to WWE, when in reality, WWE looks at them, rolls their eyes, and goes, "Do you guys hear something? Because I didn't hear anything. It just sounds like a gnat in my ear, just being annoying." Because again, it's the big brother syndrome they can't, or like the little brother syndrome they can't get rid of. They are always perpetually the give me attention, I'm still here, to can't you notice me? And it's just like WWE doesn't, they can act like they do. They don't give a fuck about AEW. They
Yeah.
don't. Because unless some miraculous something, divine intervention happens, they're not catching WWE anytime soon. They're never going to put WWE in danger of anything. It's just like they don't care. They really don't. And it just kind of reeks of desperation. And that move would absolutely reek of desperation and just essentially dropping every moral compass you have and your pride. And yeah, it's just it's so sad that you would like to think on paper you're like, "No, this is stupid. Why would they do that?" But in reality, Tony would absolutely do it because Goldberg will pitch that as, "Well, you saw how they treated me in my last match. You guys could do better for me, right?" And Tony would be like, "Oh my god, absolutely. We could totally do that for you. Don't worry about it." Except we don't need to. Like, you really don't need to. I'm begging you, please don't. Don't fall for the trap, please.
I don't I mean, I see I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
I wouldn't either. It's just it goes back to, it's the same phrase we love to go around with AEW. They can't help themselves. And they can't, because here's the thing. What good is it going to do for them? Not
Yeah.
even just, oh, we'll stick it to WWE. Not even that. Just financially moving the needle on the ratings wise. Is that really going to actually do something?
I don't think so.
And it's not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it'll move the ratings or anything like that. So that's another good point to bring up. Is it really gonna do anything to boost what AEW is trying to do?
Because you could literally see someone, a casual AEW fan or just an AEW fan in general, looking at that, rolling their eyes and being like, "Really? That's what you guys are gonna do?" Like, okay, because I know I would sure do that. I'd be like, "Really, guys? This is what we're going for now?" But okay, it's stupid, but whatever. But yeah, I hope it doesn't happen, but I'm also not going to be surprised in the least if it does. And it'll give us more material to yell about later. But
Yeah, for sure.
let's just hope it doesn't happen because I'd rather not yell about this again. I'd rather just forget it ever happened and we can move on. But we'll see if AEW can help themselves this time for once in their lives.
We shall see.
All right. So we got to the last question of the night. We were kind of speeding through these. These are this pretty good episode so far.
For sure.
This last question. If we could see one sit-down interview with two wrestlers who it is well known do not like each other, who would you pick? Mike said he would go with Goldberg and Bret Hart, but a close second would be Booker T and Hulk Hogan.
Damn it, he took mine.
Yeah, see, this one's tough because I feel like these two used to not like each other, but I think they're at least like, I mean, I guess if you can count them as they're cordial, that still is not entirely we like each other. Right. So, I mean, I would like to, okay, well, first I'd have to travel back in time to see a sit-down interview with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, because just from the rumors we heard, from what Becky said in her book, because Becky kind of like alluded to it a little bit, but never fully went into an explanation of like, this is what happened, this is why it ended up. Well, I mean, she kind of, if I remember correctly, because I'm sure I might be not remembering this correctly, but it was pretty much just the pressure was kind of getting to Charlotte, and it was kind of like, felt like she kind of had to always be there to not so much babysit her, but just kind of like be her emotional cheerleader, which I can imagine is very, I mean, it is taxing. I've dealt with that before myself, but around that time when they had that infamous little like title exchange, I would have loved to sit in an interview with that, because I feel like neither of those two would have held back, and I would have wanted to be a fly on the wall in that, like, gorilla that night, because that would have been fucking wild.
Yeah.
So that would have been my pick.
That's a good one. Well, Mike stole my first answer, which would be Goldberg and Bret Hart. That would be fun to watch. But I have a new one. That I think everybody would love, and that would be CM Punk and Colt Cabana.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about that shit.
I would love for them to be in a room and just not necessarily hash out their differences, because I don't think you're going to be able to hash out differences that have millions of dollars on the line as to what they're doing, but like just to kind of come to common ground, and maybe they would hash things out. I don't know. I just think that would be very interesting, because those two were best of friends, inseparable, you know, and then to have things kind of go down the way they go down. And then in hindsight, now looking back at everything that is happening now, you know, with Punk in WWE, back in WWE after he spent so much time bad mouthing the company on Colt's podcast, the whole, you know, all out presser thing. I definitely want them to go through. There's a lot of meat on that bone. It wouldn't end up, because it's funny he asked that question, because there is a old shoot wrestling interview between New Jack and Balls Mahoney, and those two had a falling out, which New Jack loved to hold grudges when he was around. So he wasn't the biggest fan, and they did this shoot interview, but the way they did it was they had to pat both men down to make sure that they didn't have weapons on them. That's how bad. And not to mention, New Jack still had a weapon on him. They just didn't catch it until he pulled that out and almost tried to kill Balls Mahoney during the shoot interview. This is a legit shoot interview that happened. So I don't think it's anything of that level, but I would definitely love to see, Colt Cabana and CM Punk kind of hash out their differences. I would have loved to have been, like, if it was like 1998, if we could have gotten one between Brett and Shawn Michaels, you know, that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would have been wild.
Yeah.
I feel like Triple H and probably half the locker room. Shawn Michaels and probably half the locker room back in the day.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, for sure. Triple H definitely has some detractors.
yeah, that's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just some of these. I feel like you almost have to sit in on it, but put us behind like bulletproof glass just in
Right.
case. Because I don't want to be collateral damage. I just kind of
Yeah.
want to see what happens. But yeah, there are definitely some volatile relationships in wrestling. The Colt and CM Punk one actually is a really good one. I don't know why I forgot about that. And I feel like those are always the most like maybe not so much fascinating. I'm not entirely sure what the word I'm looking for is, but it's just like to have two guys who were pretty much inseparable, like the closest friends, to now being stuck in a
Excuse me.
legal battle with each other, hating their guts. It's like, damn, what the hell happened? I mean, it's like we kind of know what happened, but still, it's just like,
I mean,
shit.
when you bust out a jab at a guy because he shares a bank account with his mom, there's got to be something there you got to talk about.
Yeah, and it's just like, and if you're on the other end of that one too, you're just like, well, thank you. I told you that in confidence as a friend, and you just use that against me. So I could see why that would be, a little inflammatory. But yeah, that would be a really good one too. It's a good answer.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, it's for maybe some people, maybe not everybody involved, but it'd be fun for maybe a couple people. All right, so we got all the questions in. Mike, thank you for yours. Mom, thanks for yours, and we're done.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's a typical episode of the Ringside Rundown podcast where we answer your questions about what is happening in the world of professional wrestling. We answer anybody's questions, so you don't have to worry about, well, I'm a new listener, they don't really know me or anything like that. It doesn't matter. Strangers become friends and friends become family. So, it doesn't matter to us if you've only been listening to one or two episodes or you're a lifelong listener. It doesn't matter. If you have a wrestling question that you would like us to talk about on the show, not only a wrestling question, but a wrestling opinion, a thought, or something that you think might be interesting for the show, if you want us to talk about it, the best way to do it is every Monday I post up the tweet Monday afternoon on the East Coast time, asking you guys to send us in questions. So go over to our Twitter, twitter.com/ringside rundown, at ringside rundown on Twitter, and it's the pinned tweet where you can drop your question there. We are also we have our own Discord server, and in Discord there's a channel for podcast questions as well, but Discord's a little still kind of new for a lot of people, so not a lot of people are on it. But if you want to ask a question, the best place to do it, go to our Twitter page at ringside rundown. It's the pinned tweet. Ask your question or leave your thought process or your opinion on anything in wrestling, and we'll answer it on the show. Like I said, we're available on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Ringside Rundown. We're also on YouTube, where you can get full episodes of the podcast, including short form content from highlights of our stream. And it's on YouTube at Ringside Run Pod. I also mentioned earlier that I am on TikTok. We are on TikTok. We're doing great on TikTok. Check us out on TikTok, ringside_rundown. And as usual, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, I am live on Twitch for all WWE and AEW programming. So come check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/ringside rundown. Shay, where can they get in touch with you?
You can find me on Twitter, on my wrestling Twitter, at Shay Ringside _, just like Eric's, except with my name instead.
There you go. There you go. You can follow Shay, get all her wrestling musings. It's definitely a good follow. Let's get Shay to about 3 million followers. What do you say?
Yeah, right. I think that's pretty reasonable. We can do that by next week.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No problem. Easy peasy. But you could also find this podcast all across the board. It's on all platforms like Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Audible. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find this podcast simply by searching Ringside Rundown and hitting the follow or subscribe button, whatever the platform asks of you. If you cannot find an episode of the podcast, just let us know by hitting us up through social media. We will get back to you with a link drink on that platform on a silver platter, but you have to give us back the silver platter because it belongs to Shay's mom, and she's devastated after finding out the Damian Priest news. So I don't want to anger her at all because I feel like it would be detrimental to my health.
Yeah, trust me, I would not recommend it. It's not a fun time, so please don't make us deal with that, guys.
She's
please.
probably absolutely beside herself.
Devastated.
Well, our next episode coming next week, we're going to be talking about the 2-night extravaganza that is SummerSlam. 2 nights of SummerSlam and Cardi B.
Sure, why not, right? Like,
and Jelly Roll.
Yeah, that match is still a thing. So,
yeah, man, we're eating good over here in WWE land.
Oh yeah, we're having the best time. Yeah.
We're gonna break it all down on our next episode with our predictions, and finally, I get to see if I can steal away the predictions championship from Shay. She's been holding it hostage.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that.
It's being held hostage in a briefcase.
Yeah, right. And it's a nice briefcase, though. Yeah. It has nice designs on it, but. Oh, well.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to head out of here. We'll check you out on the next episode. Thank you for listening to the Ringside Rundown podcast. Take care, guys.
See you later, guys.